All right, so excellent to meet you, everybody. I'm Marja Hohti, and I have some background from the university myself. So I used to be 3 years since joining Attorney's Office, Aalto University General Counsel. So I kind of enjoy pretty much working with startups, and our company is also known by working with startups. But let's start. So this is what we promise to our customers. So basically, as you can see, we are committed to understand customers' business. We are experienced lawyers, so we are a group of 20 lawyers. We are pretty young in ages, so we are energized. We are quickly to learn, and we are very incentive and like to work with you. We are also very flexible, and we have earned some expertise. So basically what it shows to you means that we don't need piles of papers. We can only take one simple paper and make it as a workable solution for you. Here is a little bit background of myself, but I guess that we will hand out the notes. And since I have only 15 minutes, you can read my story later. So Mäkitalo Rantanen, we are business law firm. We have been there 29 years already. We are most known of energy and construction. ICT is also strong, and our practices with startups. Then legal services for startups. So I would basically use this kind of a slide to walk you through how the company is growing and what kind of a business we can do together. Because basically our promise is that we grow with you. So if we are selected as your partner, we bring some expertise to you in all the steps. But before going to there, maybe I need to tell you a story why lawyers are so important. 2 years ago, I was at Slush. I met an excellent person having a little piece of equipment. The company had some patents. They had been awarded design prizes. And then I found out that there's nothing that the company can do. And the learning was that for some reason they didn't use a lawyer. They made all the paperwork by themselves. They spent the money. They didn't pay taxes. They went to Asia Pacific area. They spent everything. The team left, and this poor guy was left. And the product was excellent. And he was asking, what can he do? Looking at the paperwork, to be honest with you, nobody can even help. Because the IPRs are locked in a different company. So that's why maybe we can really help you. And here you can see some examples of the contracts, but I guess that this is pretty obvious, and our company has also prepared this kind of offer to you. So here you can see the breakdown of the services and the price list, and I happily give it to you. But there are like in this format, there are different typical legal documents that you consider when you grow as a company. Then I was also asked to provide you a little bit help how to purchase legal services. And this is pretty nice exercise because I've been also working as in-house lawyer purchasing legal services myself. So basically my most important recommendation is to see if there is any money you can spend from somebody else's pocket to cover the legal fees. For example, it might be that you are in a negotiation process. You can easily add some fees also to the negotiation so that you can cover it up. It also might be the case that you are looking for external funding, like Tekes. You can easily put some subcontractor work into your proposal. Also, one thing that is important is how well you prepare for the meeting. For example, if you make market research, you can find out some nice examples, and then we don't need to start from the scratch. Of course, we cannot copy the work because that might cause some some legal difficulties, but that could be like an example. And then one thing which is also, in my opinion, nowadays very important is that are you getting only the legal services, or are you getting consultative way work where the legal work kind of follows? So is it a partnership or is it only a legal work? And then of course it's important to consider should you take hourly priced work or fixed price deal? Can you bundle some of your needs in order to get the better price? And very important point, are you giving all the relevant information? Because, for example, I have met some really good companies. They thought that if they are not giving me everything, maybe I get a much cheaper price. Mm-hmm. But on the end, because then I learned all the difficulties afterwards, that might be even really costly exercise. So I would kind of recommend to give us more information than less. Then an important finding from LinkedIn, maybe. So there is an analyst who basically claims whether that is a service or like a legal service. There are two most important components. Can you trust the person? Can you respect what the person knows? Because this is the key selection criteria. And for legal services, of course, it's about personal commitment, our professional knowledge. It's about user interface, how easy it is to work with this person or the company. It's also value proposal for the future. Because if, for example, our law firm helps you in a particular matter, and then there is a financing ground, we know you already. So we might be much cheaper in the later than some other competitors. And then when I looked at our marketing material, I kind of find out that it's actually here. This is the key decision-making criteria. And for the concrete case, actually it was nicely a tricky case, because at the first sight you believe that it's very simple. I can offer employment services and shareholders agreement and then general terms and conditions. But to be honest with you, the more I kind of analyzed the case, the more questions came up. So usually you should meet your legal advisor. You can have a detailed level discussion. What is the service offering? What kind of a background contracts you need to look into? Because there might be like minimum terms and contract change. And then, of course, if there are like rollout plan, do you need localized version? What kind of a legal perspectives we need to consider? And then also your business plan. So are you setting, for example, integration services, a different pricing for license, support, and development? And it kind of depends how you structure the deal, what kind of a paperwork you should do. And then there wasn't pretty much information about this company, because it could be that they are using end-user data, making customer-specific analyses. It could be run on particular campaigns. It could be an annual license and the campaigns. So there are lots of different kind of variations how you can run your business. And of course, description of the service, support applications, reporting, privacy policy, service level agreements. These are also pretty important. But since my background is from business law, that's why I kind of picked up this particular case. And we are there in order to help you. So basically, we have this material that is freely available, and I'm here to discuss later. Thank you.
Before I let you off the stage, you are so well ahead of your schedule, so we can now take a couple of questions, if there are any from the audience, on on you know, okay, so are you going to jail or what's up?
So I have never hired a lawyer before. So what kind of funding or prices are we talking about for a very early level startup? What should we be prepared to have in our pockets when?
So basically for that, I would recommend that you see this breakdown. So basically there are like list prices for startups. We give the same information as SLAS. But to be really honest with you, come with the bundled services. Because basically then we can make it more favorable offers. Because at least I like to know my customer, I like to grow with my customers. So basically we can make excellent offers also. But from here you can kind of read what are the expectation level, but of course it's better to meet the lawyer, freely discuss what are the options, because we can also make a breakdown, like project plan, what are needed in the first step and what comes later. So, like that.
But then to sort of spin on, so now for AVP or do you have a rough, I mean, what would be your gut feeling? I mean, you know, they've been operating already for a time, they still have a little bit of revenue, probably most of the things that you talked about are a little bit shady. You know, what would be your estimate? How much should they expect to fork out to put things right?
Luckily I need to discuss with the other service providers before that, because they are presented here. but roughly I could go with maybe 3,000 to start the
Okay, so that would be kind of a so at least, you know, the number of zeros is 3 after and the first number is anybody's guess.
Because of course what we like to do is to work in a consulting way.
Yeah.
If we can network the companies with some other companies like we do, because there are lots of growth potential by helping the companies even like that. So basically do a little bit mentoring activities and help also in other ways.
Okay, but still, so when you go home, you know, ask mommy to give you 3,000 and you're okay.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah. Good.
Reasonable.
Any other questions from the audience on legal services?
Just to follow up on that question, the 3,000 is an annual retainer's fee, or I mean, is it the standard just for getting the documents and everything? But do you charge also per item on top of the 3,000 annual?
Basically, what I would recommend, since we can make a deal so that it's written. This is what I offer you. These are the kind of limitations and what's included.
Yes.
So always ask that, because then it's clear for both of the parties.
Okay.
But usually, if you're a startup, it doesn't make sense to say this is the start price and then I take every money I can take, because I like to grow with you. So the better I do my job, the more opportunities there is for you. I'm sure that you come later to ask some other additional help.
Yes, okay.
So your business idea is not to drive the company into bankruptcy and then make more money on the bankruptcy trial.
But we can also do that.
Okay, Kalle.
Okay, so how should I actually choose my lawyer, and what is part of sales process for you, and when do you actually start invoicing something? If I want to talk with, let's say, I get good recommendation for 3 different lawyers, what happens?
I think your invoice for that question is 3,000 euros. Are you sure you wanted to answer?
No, of course it's part of the practice that we can meet and we can evaluate the case. There might be some other companies who are really keen on putting the clock on, but this is not how Mäkitalo behaves. So of course we kind of mutually analyze the case, and actually we need to do it so that I can give you a pricing offer. So that's part of the standard work. If you find somebody who is doing differently, please let me know.
Is there, by the way, like a sort of standard contract form for legal agreements in Finland, or is that company specific? Because in some businesses there are like standard contract forms.
Oh right, this is a tricky question because there are 2 types of legal services.
Okay.
The other one is attorney's side.
Okay.
So basically we are heavily regulated. Finnish attorneys union is looking after us.
Yes.
So we need to put certain insurances in place. So basically there are like ethical goals and also things we need to consider.
Yes.
And then we have these law offices who can make who can try to strict restrictions on their liabilities, because they can do so. It's a different practice.
Okay. But is there sort of like mallisopimus or something like that, model contract practice or?
Some companies use that. We are very flexible.
Okay.
So basically we send you an estimate by email, and basically we operate with an email. Not that you need to spend hours and hours reading what are the limitations. But if there are like external funding, those institutions might need a contract. So of course we prepare that for the institution.
Okay, thank you. So one last question on legal. We still have 1 minute to go on this section. Okay, nothing? Well, thank you then. This was a great start.